Welcome friends to our new video on Thomas de Quincey. Thomas de Quincey was a Romantic age writer. He was very popular in the field of essay and literary criticism. Thomas de Quincey wrote many literary essays as well as literary criticism, and those valuable essays and criticism make the person Thomas de Quincey very famous. He was born in 1785 and this great person was passed away in 1859. So let's begin the class on Thomas de Quincey. Thomas de Quincey, as you know, that was born in Manchester, and the place Manchester is basically belongs to Lancashire in England. Thomas de Quincey, popularly known as a famous genre of literature, that is addictive literature. He invented or inaugurated this kind of literature, that is addictive literature. And what is addictive literature? Addictive literature is nothing but the literature that based on addiction. What is addiction? Thomas de Quincey is notoriously famous for one particular addiction, that was opium eater, and he also wrote later a very good essay on opium, Confession of an Opium Eater. So Thomas de Quincey inaugurated this kind of literature, addictive literature. In 1880, he appointed himself as an editor of the gazette or journal, that is Westmoreland Gazette. It was a Tory newspaper or journal where he appointed as an editor. In 1822, his famous work Confession of an English Opium Eater was published, and it was published in the London magazine. As you know that Thomas Quincey was a man of alcoholic addict and opium. He always remained himself in the addiction of alcohol and opium. Next point is that Thomas de Quincey relieved himself from his depression by reading a very good poetry collection that was written by William Wordsworth and S.T. Coleridge, that is Lyrical Ballads. So Thomas de Quincey confessed that he was relieved from his depression by this very work, Lyrical Ballads. Thomas de Quincey in 1823 wrote a famous another essay on the knocking at the gate of Macbeth, which was published in London magazine. In 1827, he wrote another essay on murder, considered as one of the fine arts, which was published in Blackwood magazine, and it is an satirical work. Thomas de Quincey wrote a biographical work, Lake Reminiscences, and which was published in Edinburgh Review. Lake Reminiscences is a biographical work written on the Lake District of poets. We know that Lake District of poets are William Wordsworth, S.T. Coleridge and Robert Southey. So this biographical work, Lake Reminiscences, is based on those writers. Thomas de Quincey wrote another very important work. Basically, it is an incomplete work, Suspiria de Profundis, and the phrase originally belongs to the Latin language, and the meaning of this phrase is science from the depth. It is a collection of essays which was published in 1845 in the Blackwood magazine. Next point, in 1849, Thomas de Quincey wrote English Mail Coach, an essay. The essay consists of three parts. First part is the glory of motion, the second part is the vision of sudden death, and the third part is dream fuse, which was published in Edinburgh magazine. Thomas de Quincey wrote an autobiography. This particular autobiography was written in 1853, and the name of this autobiography is Autobiographical Sketches. So these are the points, and 1859 this great person Thomas de Quincey was passed away. So these are the points that very important for our different exam point of view.